Coffee and convo, y'all. Let's get it. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building, man. You guys know what time it is. We are back. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider, man. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, make sure you wipe them feet on the way in. Also, hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. Once again, we are closer and closer to our goal of 30,000 subscribers. We cannot do that without every single one of you guys. I see Green Dot Gang heavy in the building. Salute to my guy, David Walker, man. Salute to Demented, Raider Danger, Kyle, all my guys, man. I see Mello, Chef, James. If you guys want to become Green Dot Gang, like my people, hit the link. It's pinned up top. It definitely, again, helps us keep the lights on. Mr. Manny, I love it. I love it, man. I love it. Justin Herbert once again lives up to his playoff, resume. That man got absolutely fried yesterday. Did anybody get a chance to watch that Chargers game, man? It made me feel a little better because I had to watch the Niners beat the Eagles. Everyone knows I'm from Northern California. I hate the Niners with a passion. So it hurt my soul to see that weird Philly team. I don't understand that team, man. Like, they went out there. I think Purdy had 2 picks. The defense was doing some things. The offense could not get it together. A.J. Brown dropping ball after ball. I think that we've seen the last of him in Philadelphia. I would not be shocked to see him potentially in New England or another wide receiver needy team in the offseason. But it was good to just go out there and watch the Chargers absolutely get smoked on the road, a place that we won in week 1, which is absolutely crazy. Got to keep it real here, you guys. Without Slater, without Joe Alt, I expected the Chargers to get, if not one and done, maybe win one and get, get cooked in the second round. I mean, without, those big guys on the outside to help protect Herbert, I don't really know what anyone expected. I seen Chargers fans really hyped thinking that they were going to win that game. But I'm like, without those 2 guys, I mean, it's very, very difficult. That guy was sacked 6 times yesterday, bro. They just blitzed him constantly. They put so much pressure on Herbert yesterday. It was actually kind of amazing. And then I seen Spillane at the presser say that after the game, the offense went up to Spillane. A few of the guys, the players were like, we didn't even know what kind of, we didn't know what you guys were doing. We didn't know what I'll say this. You have seen the last of Greg Roman with the Chargers. I'll tell you this, man. He lost his job yesterday. They put up a 3-piece against New England. That is disgusting. You mean to tell me you traveled all the way far east to kick a measly field goal? Nasty, nasty work. Herbert, 19 for 31, 159, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks. Again, he was sacked 6 times, a QBR of 25. Nasty, nasty work. But it's very difficult, right? When he's under pressure like that, they're not protecting him. And again, he led them in rushing yards, 10 carries for 57. I mean, nobody can get rolling. Amarion Hampton had 1 carry. 1 carry, you guys. 1 carry. That is a fireable offense right there. Like Greg Roman, you should be packing your bags just based off of having your first-round draft pick, Amarion Hampton, run the football 1 time. 1 time. It's kind of nasty. Salute to my guy, though, man. Appreciate you, man. As always, get those likes up. We have a lot to talk about. Started early today, you guys. I have a bunch going on. It's my birthday week. My kids just went back to school. Me and the wife are getting prepared to go head out to Oklahoma here in a few days. So my apologies if some of you were missing the actual live. Hopefully you tap in afterwards and just hit the like and all that good stuff. But I had to go early again today because I have a lot going on. So the Bruce, I almost took the over on Hampton on Prize Picks. So glad I didn't, bro. Thank the Lord you listen to your intuition, bro, because, man, that man ran the football one time. And when you look, how does Vidal have 10 more carries? 10 more carries. Kamani Vidal had 10 more carries than Amarion Hampton, a guy that you just spent a first-round draft pick on. Make that shit make sense. Again, peace out, Greg Roman. I think he's was already one of the worst OCs in football anyways. I know he's a hardball guy, but expect them out there in LA to fire him and bring a new OC in, because that was just nasty. I get that he was, look, man, Hampton was in. Well, I didn't watch. Let me say this. He's dealt with some injuries all year long. All year long. He's been beat up and nicked up all year. What was the injury that occurred yesterday? Let me ask you that, Jeffrey. Because from what I've seen and from what I've heard, hold on. I'm going to look this up. The ankle, right? The ankle. The Chargers are accused of misleading information about their player. Amarion Hampton suffers another injury nightmare, the ankle issue that has doomed the Chargers. So hold on. Officially active. He was declared active, right? We knew that he was nicked up coming into the game. Now become one of the most debated storylines of the Chargers postseason collapse. I mean, again, they could have played him. Ankle was listed as a key injury to monitor. The rookie had missed week 18, not for rest, but because the issue was legitimate. Cameras caught him during workouts wearing a sizable brace on his right ankle, the same one that had bothered him earlier in the season. I mean, shit, he was active. He was active. You mean to tell me he's coming off of an ankle injury? It's a game time decision, and you just run him one time? They tested him before the game. Hollywood, then why not just sit him? Why not just sit him? Again, if you're going to have him active, you better have him out there running the football, because, again, you can't have Herbert being your leading rusher in the playoffs. It's nasty work, but whatever. Just always good to see the Chargers absolutely shitting the bed. I believe Herbert is now 0 for 3 in the playoffs. He lost to the Patriots. He lost to the Jaguars. And what was the third team that he lost to, you guys, in the playoffs? I believe it was the Jags, Trevor Lawrence and company. It was New England yesterday. What was the other team was it the Texans? It might have been the Texans, right? I think the Texans beat them. I could be wrong. Somebody in the comment section, please let me know if you know it was. Okay, then it was Houston. I was right. Yeah, man. 0 for 3. Man, Herbert is definitely getting killed on Twitter, Instagram, social media, all over the place. The term elite, has been thrown around very loosely in terms of Justin Herbert. And it looks as though a lot of people are trying to pull that tag off of him right now. And again, Justin Herbert, during the regular season, especially even with his starting right tackle and his starting left tackle out, he was one of the most sacked quarterbacks in football this year. But again, I mean, played pretty good for these guys to find a way to get into the playoffs. But, it is what it is. The Chargers doing Charger things, always finding a way to be eliminated from the playoffs. You'd love to see it. Salute to Greg Roman and that terrible offense. Salute to Harbaugh. Yeah, man. We'll see you guys next year. 4 picks against the Texans, Mello. Talk that talk, my brother. Salute to John Wick. Well, this is the thing. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of people running with this narrative right now. For those who don't know, the Nebraska quarterback Patrick Mahomes Light has, went to Oregon. He's, went over there, hit the transfer portal from Nebraska, and he has become an Oregon Duck. A lot of people are thinking because of this that Dante Moore is declaring. There's still no sign if he is going to declare or not. Personally, I would, if I was him, take advantage of it right now because it's a deep class next year. But he did say that if he does not declare, that he's okay to go sit down for a year in Oregon and then be the starter in 2027. So I hear you, Wick. Once again, it doesn't really matter for us, right? We have the number one spot. Fernando Mendoza, it is. But again, he's going to, regardless, he'll sit. He'll sit. He won't be a starter until 2027 if Moore decides not to declare. So it really doesn't matter. So again, he's coming off of a nasty injury. I don't know the timeline of when he'll be healthy and ready to go, but it was interesting to see that he went to Oregon. I'm actually shocked that he didn't try to reroute to Texas Tech and just go ahead and follow, Patrick Mahomes, whole, resume. We know that he is just, it's kind of nasty how much he looks up to Patrick Mahomes, the hair, the number, the mannerisms. I thought that he would have probably tried to go to Texas Tech, but he did end up going to Oregon. And again, he will sit for 2026 and then be the starter in 2027 if Dante Moore chooses to stick around another year at Oregon. So salute to my people, man. Salute to Primo. Salute to Thomas as well. I think I speak for many in the nation when I say Mendoza or bust. It has to be. It has to be. It has to be Dangerfield. There's no other direction that you need to go in. There's no trade that makes any sense at this point. Go get the guy, and that is Fernando Mendoza. Again, don't let any of these people tell you guys he's in any other draft, he would have been a third rounder or fifth. I've seen this shit with that so-called Jets former, what did he say? A former scout saying that he had like a 5th round grade or some shit on him. I seen Coach JB say that, he had a 5th round grade on him. The same thing as Shador. Look, you guys, again, I rock with JB. I think he's a funny dude. I actually enjoy some of the shit that they put up on Twitter and Instagram. I think it's hilarious. I really do. But again, we live in such a weird world now where these people just say anything to get clicks, because these guys can say Fernando Mendoza is a 5th round guy. And now guess what? JB is all over the place. There's going to be, snippets of him on ESPN and Bleacher Report and all over the place. People are going to use these so they can allow, so they can build their platform, even if it isn't something that they truly believe in. Nothing watching Fernando Mendoza screams 5th round pick. Nothing watching Fernando Mendoza screams 3rd round pick at all. And again, the Jets guy, I don't know what his name is. He was on Whitlock's show, and Whitlock is the biggest dick eater in the world. I can't stand him. I don't understand how he even has a platform, bro. I don't really understand at all how some people even go up there to be guests on that disgusting ass show. Jason Whitlock is a weirdo. He is a weird dude. But to have this so-called former scout on, it lets me know how down bad Jason Whitlock is. He's just down bad. To have a guy that says he's a former scout, it's just, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? But this is the same guy that said Caleb Williams was like a 7th round talent. And we seen, what he did. I know he threw 2 picks against Green Bay, but they found a way to win that ball game. Caleb Williams has had a really good season under Ben Johnson, but you're saying he has late round talent. I forgot what round it was, but it may have not been 7th, but it was somewhere from the mid to late rounds where he had Caleb Williams. It's what are we doing here, man? What are we doing here? It makes no sense. And now, you guys, I want to talk about this as well before we get to all this coaching stuff. To see all these people beating up on this woman about giving Liam Cohen his flowers, during that media session where they lost to Buffalo at home. What is wrong with this? I'm trying to figure out what is wrong with this. Hey, dear beat writers and journalists and all this other shit, we live in a different world now, okay? We live in a different world. Welcome to the fandom, a sports era here. What is wrong in a small market? I got to add that piece, right? In a small market in Jacksonville and Duval. What is the issue with giving Liam Cohen his flowers? That team has been bad for a long time. They finally opened up this window where, they're probably going to be a perennial playoff team now with Liam Cohen out there. He unlocked something in Trevor Lawrence this season, former number 1 pick. He was supposed to be a generational guy. I thought that this was really cool. And apparently The lady has been covering like everything in Jacksonville for like 20 plus years. I don't get it. What's the problem? I'm seeing all these beat writers, Tashawn Reed and all these people. Oh my God, this is disgusting. Man, shut the fuck up. Shut up. Shut up. What are you talking about, man? Like, what are you talking about? The first thing in journalism is to not be a fan. Man, that woman gave that man his flowers. That man turned that thing around in year one. They had a home playoff game. They won their division. What is the issue here? Now it just makes total sense why all these guys hate content creators and they hate, the fan, the fan podcasts and the fan shows, because they want to like hold on to this journalism integrity. Man, get the fuck out of here, man. It's just sad to see that you guys completely you go in here and you already ask these weird questions. You don't, and most of the time you don't add really anything, any value, to these pressers. You just softball questions, and mind you, I got actual some beat writers that I respect, that I really truly like. I like what they do. I like what Vinny does. I like that Vinny doesn't work with anybody. I know that Vinny doesn't respect what we do over here and then what other guys in this content space do. That's cool with me. I don't expect everybody to get down with how we get down, but I like how Vinny goes about his business. You know what I mean? But for Tashawn to put that out there and say, that's disgusting and blah, blah, blah. I'm seeing Josina, I think, who else? It was a bunch of other people calling this woman out for giving the head coach of that respective organization his flowers on the way out. That man deserves a garden with what he did in year one in Jacksonville. It was a very much so winnable game. Buffalo found a way. Josh Allen is Josh Allen, and yeah, it is what it is. Yes, could Liam Cohen have did a few things differently out there? Definitely. That was a very winnable ball game for them. But again, I have nothing against that woman in there saying, hey, you were great. We need more of that. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Some of you guys are just miserable pieces of shit. Like, honestly, like you don't want to see anybody happy. It's just, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? I thought that was really, really cool. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry you're confused, but it's something is going viral out there right now with the reporter in Jacksonville that gave Liam Cohen a ton of flowers during his presser. And he even looked like very much so, like he looked like he appreciated that. I love it. I love it. I absolutely love it. There's nothing wrong with that at all. Salute to Liam Cohen, salute to Jacksonville Jaguars, and most importantly, salute to that beautiful soul out there that chose to go a different route in terms of journalism, because the first law of journalism is you can't be a fan. Salute to that young lady, man, for going out there and giving Liam Cohen some love. Salute to Chef. Being a Cal fan, I've been watching Mendoza since the beginning and pretty sure he learned how to run at Cal because that's all he did was run for his life. Salute to Chef. Appreciate you on a $5 smackaroony, man. Salute to Just Raiders, man. That was a really good game. Cohen came in, put a couple pieces together, and turned it around. Facts, man. Facts, man. Really, really good head coach. Shit, man. We should be mad at Raider Nation that we didn't get him, in the offseason. Instead, we got Pete Carroll. But again, we went through our bumps and bruises this year to get to this point to have this number one pick so we can go get our quarterback of the future. Yeah, Ron, there's nothing wrong with that, right? I love to see that. Like, Liam really looked like he was like, wow, man, there's still good people in this space. I understand it's a job, you guys, but again, what is the problem with giving people their flowers for doing a really, really good job? That shit is crazy to me to see these people actually calling it, disgusting and blah, blah. Y'all are just weird. It's 2026. Get with the program, bro. Get with the program. Stop acting so weak, bro. Like, some of y'all be bootsy as hell. I swear to God, this shit doesn't make any sense. Yeah, man. I would have loved if that was with us. Yeah, man. Facts, Marky. I mean, I don't remember the presser after we lost to Cincinnati on the road during that wild card L. I don't remember, but I would say this: if somebody gave Richie B a ton of credit and had that kind of same speech for Richie B after all the shit that we endured that season and how he led those guys into the playoffs and how we almost won that game in Cincinnati. We had a chance to tie that ball game up at the end and potentially take it into OT. Would people have been mad about that for giving Richie B his flowers? Richie B, you deserve this, man, because you got these guys in line. You led them into the playoffs. You found a way to beat the Chargers at home to eliminate them, and you guys jump in. Would there have been an issue? There shouldn't have been an issue at all. I think that we need more people in this space being positive. Being positive. I am always positive until this team gives me a reason not to be. Like right now, it's the offseason. We have the number 1 pick. We have a ton of coaches that we just requested, which we're going to go over here in a second. And it's a great time to be alive in Raider Nation. It's a great time to be a fan. It's a great time to be a fan. You're not going to get me to pull up over here and talk about all the bad shit that happened this past season. I'm over it. On to the next one. Number 1 pick, coach, free agency, ton of cap space, Shrine Bowl next week. Get to go talk to some potential future Raiders. There's nothing to be upset about. These guys just want to be mad. It's like, what are you mad about? What are you mad about? We need more positivity in this space because we're watching the Stephen A. Smiths of the world, the Skips, and all these people that at one point had a ton of, like they were actually respected in this field, and they're doing the hot take shit now. They're doing the hot topic button shit. Like all these guys are doing it. What is real in this space anymore? What is real anymore? I'll tell you what's real. What that lady did yesterday. That was real. It came from the heart. It was respect. It was love. And it came from a good place. We need more of that. We need less of the hot take, Stephen A. Skip attacking players and doing this and that shit. We need more of that. What's wrong with it? I don't get it, man. Shows that a reporter actually cared. Yes, and she's from the area, apparently in Jacksonville. From what they said, she's been covering everything Jacksonville for 20 plus years. I believe she owns, and don't quote me on this, but I thought this was really cool. I think it was like the only Black-owned newspaper or something along those lines in that area, which is phenomenal. I love it. I love it. And people are out here kicking her back in for giving the head coach some love. It's disgusting. It's disgusting, man. And again, we'll get to the Raiders, you guys. My apologies. I'm kind of on my soapbox a little bit here. But, we're going to get to the Raiders here. But I just, that really bugs me to see people really kicking this woman's back in for doing something nice. It's like, come on, man. You guys, Tashawn Reed and all you other dudes, whenever you went and got your degree for this shit, the times have changed. Get with the program. This shit is not what it was when you first came in. And again, everything that you guys went through in order, going to school, I love it. I respect it. I respect any person that furthers their education. But we're doing this shit, what you guys are doing now with GEDs, high school dropouts. This is why you guys are mad. This is why you guys are upset. And I know, because I've been told behind the scenes from several people within our organization about how some of these guys hate what we do. And I love it. It just makes me even more, driven to continue to do this shit because I know it gets so many people upset. I love it. I love it. I think there should be more people, that are fans covering these teams. Like Q. Q is a Raider fan. I love it. Salute to your boy Q. He's a Raider fan, right? He gives this team a lot of love, but he also critiques them when need be. That's what we need in this shit. There's nothing wrong with leading with love and then kicking their backs in when they're terrible and bad shit is going on. It's okay. It's okay. We need more of that. We need to get away from this old journalistic approach, you guys, where you can't be a fan and you can't do this, you can't do that. Man, look, there's nothing more passionate than football fans. And we're all truthful. Well, I'll say this, not all of us. Most of us, well, let me say this. Some of us are truthful. We'll call this team a shit show when they're a shit show, and we'll applaud them and celebrate them when they're doing good. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. I think that today's journalism is very lazy. I think that some of these guys write great articles, and I think that some of them do some amazing work. But again, salute to Vinny B. I think that he does amazing work over there, with what he's doing with all the different platforms that he's working on. But again, It's a lot of lazy takes, a lot of lazy articles being thrown together. And you have the audacity to get upset at a lady for showing some love and giving a head coach his flowers in a small market area where they have lost a ton of games in recent memory. Make it make sense. DeMokes, NFL world, that was a great wild card weekend. Raiders fan, there was something in the air that night. The stars were bright. Fernando. Salute to my guy DeMokes in the building, man. Salute to my guy Boss. This country and this world is so angry. The reporter says something nice and these miserable pieces of shit are mad. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable, man. It's unbelievable. I honestly, I agree with you. It makes no sense. Eris, shout out to Graphk going against the grain. I appreciate you. Again, you guys know, I think that one of the reasons why you support us over at Showmore is we're honest. We're always going to lead with optimism. And then when shit goes bad, we're going in that direction as well. We're going to call it as we see it. It is what it is. Just because we love the Raiders and because we love this football team, we got them tattered on us. Some of us, this is our entire lives. Like, this is my livelihood. But you got to call it for what you see. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, if it's great, it's great. If it's bad, it's bad. Call a spade a spade. And what that woman did yesterday was phenomenal. And I think we need more of that. I think we need more of that. Honestly, way more of it. I think that's really, really cool to see somebody showing, their head coach love after an amazing season. I think it's just so dope. Jacksonville was not supposed to be anywhere near, where they were yesterday. They were not supposed to be there. They weren't supposed to win their division. The Colts went on a crazy run. The Texans went on a crazy run. Colts initially went on a crazy run, and then they just went on a massive skid. Texans, go on a crazy run. Jacksonville wasn't supposed to be where they were. What's wrong with giving that man his garden? What's wrong with that? I love that, man. Normalize love again, you guys. Let's normalize love. Let's normalize compliments. Let's normalize being nice again. The fuck is wrong with that? What is wrong with it? It's nasty work. Salute to 2-4. Thanks, Graphk, for saying to keep it real. F them. Look, man, I try to stay out of all the so-called beat writer and content creator shit because it doesn't apply to me. It really doesn't apply to me. I don't really care. It doesn't stop what I'm doing. I'm going to continue to grind. I'm not going to spend hours out of my day attacking these guys because I don't really care. You got a job. I got a job. I'll probably never see you guys in life. It doesn't, like, what you do does not affect what I got going on. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, when you start seeing shit like that, it's like, come on, bro. Like y'all act like there's a journalism Bible and you have to stick to it. Like, what are we doing here, bro? Like, things change. Things change. Everything's not the same as it was, again, when you decided to become a writer or a journalist and go to school and get your degrees. It's not the same. It's not the same world. Get down and lay down. Get down and lay down. But to call it disgusting, that's a disgusting way of wording that. It's nasty. My top 4 choices for head coach would be 1, Clint Kubiak, who we had in for an interview. Chris Shula, who we just requested for an interview, which is great. Mike Lafleur, we requested him. And then Davis Webb, who's already, took an interview with us, man. I think that's a great list, Chef. And we're about to go over all of these here shortly. Salute to my guy, Chef, man, in the building. Appreciate you, brother. Salute to Raider Hater as well. That's why I follow you, Docs. When keeping it real goes right, 5 years and I still follow you. Thank you, brother. My name is Mike Downs. Raiders. Salute to my guy, Downs, in the building. Always showing love. And he's been here for many moons. And real quick, before we get to these coaches, the best writers are mad because that lady went viral for being nice and encouraging. There you go. There you go. There you go. Nothing wrong with leading with love, D. Leading with love. You know what's crazy, D? If she went out there, this is the sad shit. And real quick, I promise I'm going to get off my soapbox here, you guys. If the roles were reversed and she said, well, that was a shitty way to end the season, Liam Cohen, You know, you went all that way, won all those games, won your division to get to this point in a very winnable game against the Buffalo Bills team where you had the lead and so on and so forth, and you shit the bed. What do you want to say about what? How do you respond to that? People be like, these writers be like, yeah, that's the way you go about it. Like, they wouldn't have said nothing. They wouldn't have said nothing. You'd rather have the woman be disrespectful because it doesn't fit the script of what you guys apparently are supposed to be doing, which is not fan. I didn't hear a fan. I heard a woman giving somebody his credit and his flowers for doing something amazing. And again, she's from Jacksonville, from the area. She probably is a fan, right? Nothing wrong with that. But again, if the script was flipped and she absolutely just went in there and went fucking beast mode and destroyed this dude and said all that for what? These guys wouldn't be writing shit. They wouldn't be saying anything. It's sad. It's sad. It's actually pathetic. It's pathetic. So to my guy Sosa, that boy said, Bootsy, bring your ass back home to NorCal, my guy. Real ones know, Sosa. Salute to my guy. But you know what? When you hear Bootsy, you know I'm in my bag because that's that NorCal talk. Salute to Reek as well. Who's your top 5 head coach wish list, big bro? We went over this before. Well, let me put one out there real quick. We'll get this out the way fast, you guys, because I had a dream. Salute to Martin Luther King, the GOAT. His birthday's coming up. I share the same birthday with him. It's on the 15th, but we celebrated on the 19th, right? Salute to the GOAT. I had a dream as well that, you know, Matt Lafleur was going to shit the bed against Chicago, which they did, and Green Bay was going to let him go. There were a ton of reports about potentially firing him and so on and so forth. You know, keep an eye on Richie B as well, you guys. Missed some kicks out there that definitely lost them this ball game. I see a lot of people. It's so funny to see Green Bay fans screaming to fire Richie B, and then some Raider fans on Twitter still saying we should have kept Richie B as a head coach. You gotta love football. You gotta love football. But it looks as though the Packers are expected to work out a deal in the coming days to keep head coach Matt Lafleur in Green Bay. Sources told ESPN's Adam Schefter. He had 1 year remaining on his current contract. This is according to ESPN, leaving his future in Green Bay uncertain. Packers president Ed Policy said that last June he would prefer not to have a lame duck coach. So it looks as though my dream of having Matt Lafleur in the building is officially cooked. So that would have been my number one. But now when you're looking at the list of people that we have brought in, right? We've interviewed Kevin Stefanski. He's very low on my list. And I'm going to put this out there as well. I know he's a 2-time coach of the year. I got an interesting message. And I was told that I can speak about this, okay? I'm going to make sure I word this correctly, so I don't want to get anybody in trouble here. But salute to my guy. I'm not going to say who told me. But got some new info for you, homie. This is from my guy. Agent, homie of a friend of mine who reps 3 Browns players, okay, said that Stefanski lost the locker room back in 2021, 2022. Very bad at working with young guys. So take that with it as you may. And we got a ton of young players, right? We have Ashton Genty. We're going to have a young quarterback, hopefully Fernando Mendoza, Brock Bowers, Mayer. I mean, look at that O-line. You got DJ Glaze and Jackson Powers Johnson. You know, you got Caleb Rogers and Charles Grant. We have a ton of young guys, right? Darian Porter on the other side of the ball. It may be a disaster to bring him in. So he is a very low on my list right now of guys that we've already completed an interview with. Davis Webb is in my top 5. He is in my top 5. I would probably put him at maybe number 3. Again, this is like a very much so Al Davis kind of hire. Get him while he's young, develop him. He could be the next John Gruden or Sean McVay or whatever. I know that they value him a ton in Denver. The quarterback's coach, he is probably on my list. I'll probably put him somewhere around 3. Okay. We interviewed Clint Kubiak. I'm going to have him at 2. I'm going to have him at 2 right now, but he could be right there 1B. Honestly, Vance Joseph is not on my list. We completed an interview with him. Matt Nagy, hell no, he's not on my list. Those are the guys we've interviewed already. Now, the guys that we're bringing in, Jeff Hafley, the defensive coordinator for Green Bay, the defense collapsed there. Chicago came back. They did that all year long. They were like the just comeback kings in the NFL. But, they didn't have Micah Parsons out there. They had a few injuries that they were dealing with. But Jeff Hafley's an interesting guy because he's going to get some other interviews elsewhere. I know that Matt Lafleur said that he expects him to get a head coaching job. For those who are not aware of who he is, he's the defensive coordinator for Green Bay. He started in 2024. Before that, he was in Boston College as the head coach, 2020 through 2023. Before that, he worked at Ohio State. He worked with the Niners, the Browns. He has an extensive history in football, coming from the collegiate level and the NFL level. I'm going to be real with you guys. He is not on my list of guys to bring in. Again, nothing against Jeff Hafley. He probably can get a job elsewhere, in which I don't think he's going to get a head coaching job. He may end up just going back to Green Bay and being a DC and running it back one more year, especially with Matt Lafleur looking like he's going to return there. But he is a guy that we requested an interview with, and he's not high on my list at all. He's not on my top 5. Mike Lafleur, right? He's up there. He's up there again, coming from that Shanahan tree, coming from that McVay tree. He was an assistant passing game coordinator, wide receivers coach with the Niners, 2017 to 2018, Shanahan guy, 2019 to 2020. He was a passing game coordinator for the 49ers, again, Shanahan. And then he went to the Jets, 2021, 2022 as an offensive coordinator, shit the bed up there with Robert Saleh. Didn't look good at all. But again, who does look good with the Jets? I think he deserves another chance. And he's the offensive coordinator right now with the Rams under McVay. So he would probably, I put him at 5. Probably put him at 5 right now. So I have him at 5. I think Davis Webb at 3, Clint Kubiak at 2. And you know what? Who should I throw there at 4? Who am I throw at 4? And I always butcher his name, you guys. It's very difficult. Is it Nathan Shilchase or whatever? We're going to say NS here, okay? The Rams pass game coordinator. He is an interesting name out there. He's been working with the Rams since 2024. He started off as an offensive assistant out there and passing game specialist. This year, he was the pass game coordinator under McVay. Before that, Iowa State, he was the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach. 2021 to 2022, running game coordinator, running backs, and wide receiver coach. Interesting enough, salute to Matt Holder, who put that on Twitter, put the connection there. He was the wide receivers coach for Darian Porter out there at Iowa State. He's still really, really young. I believe he's only 35 years old, and he just turned 35. This would be an intriguing option. I'd probably have him there in that top 5. Number 1 to me is going to be Chris Shula. That's who I want to bring in because of the connection with McVay. I know he's a defensive-minded guy. I know some people said the Rams' defense has collapsed at times. Look, man, they only have, I believe, 1 first-rounder on that defense. He's worked with a collection of misfits out there with the Rams and has been successful. Again, he is McVay's right-hand man. He has been privy to everything that McVay has done up to this point. I believe they're former teammates in college, best friends, roommates, something along those lines. So it'd be, for me, Chris Shula, number 1. I put probably Clint Kubiak at 2. He's done some amazing things up there in Seattle this year, but I think a lot of that success you got to throw towards Mike McDonald, man. He's done some really good things as the defensive coordinator. Well, he's not the defensive coordinator, but we know he's the mind behind that defense, and he's done a great job out there in Seattle. Number 3 would have been, I think, who did I say? I think Davis Webb, and then it would be Lafleur and Nathan Shilhaz, or however you say it. I always butcher that name. So that would probably be my list right there. Salute to Reese. Love, mother effers. Love Samuel L. Jackson voice. Salute to my guy in the building, as always, showing some love. Let me see. Let me catch up on the chat real quick, and then we'll get back to the show. But for those who are wondering, we have requested interviews with the Rams pass game coordinator. We're gonna call him NS, just Nathan. Sure, because again, I don't even know how to say his last name. Also, another guy that we're bringing in is I think it's Aviro, the DC out there with the Carolina Panthers, who he's done some great work up there. This is an intriguing guy to bring in. They were one of the worst defenses in football the year prior, and he did an amazing job out there with Carolina in that defense this year. So I'm hoping this isn't just a Rooney Rule type situation. Hopefully they're really giving him a chance to potentially come in and win that job. I know that he is very, very much respected around NFL circles. So that's another guy, Chris Shula. We're bringing him in. Again, we just talked about him, the DC for the Rams. Jeff Hafley, the Packers DC, and then Mike Lafleur, of course, Matt LaFleur's brother, the Rams OC under McVay. So those are the guys that we have requested interviews with. So we'll know, again, you guys, some dates here soon about when we're going to have them in the building or when we're going to have them via Zoom or however this thing works. So stay tuned. But we have requested a ton, and I love it. Yeah, and Super Omni, he was definitely a Raider in 2004. There's definitely a connection there with the Vero, for sure. And Mikey says the Vero is from the Vic Fangio tree. Look, man, one of the greatest defensive minds in football. We've seen what he did with the Denver defense, what he did with the Philly defense. I know that he gets kind of knocked for his time in Miami, but one of the better, defensive minds in football. So, yes. Gio, similarly, a lot of people hating on Mendoza for being too nice. Kid is a surgeon, stares the camera in the eye, and gives a corny speech before dissecting a defense. Don't take kindness for weakness. Talk that talk, Gio. Talk, my brother. Salute to you on the $10 holla. I couldn't have said any better right there. But I believe that most of these guys, not named Matt Nagy and not named Vance Joseph, definitely deserved to come in and get a look. I'm just not a fan of Vance Joseph in terms of being a head coach, and I'm definitely not a fan of Matt Nagy at all. So I'm excited, man. These guys are actually doing their homework this year. They're doing their due diligence, you guys. This is a fun time to be around. Every available candidate out there seems like they're somehow, some way connected to the Raiders right now. Now, we still have not heard any Flores, the ball. We knew that was early on, that there was going to be a package deal. That sense is kind of went wayside. We have not heard anything thus far in regards to Flores coming in for a head coaching interview or the ball potentially being the OC. Harbaugh, not seeing the connection there at all. Would the Raiders in the 11th hour take an interview? Maybe. But again, with all those demands, list of demands that was out there allegedly, because I know that they're trying to clean some of that up right now, I wouldn't want anything to do with Harbaugh. The $20 million a season, I think he said something like $10 million allocated to his staff, and he wants to name the GM. Well, we already have a GM, so I don't think the Harbaugh connection works at all. So, and then Jesse Minter now that the Chargers season is over, you guys expect, and he looked good. That defense looked good. Don't let that offense putting up a three-piece take anything away. They allowed that Patriots team to have 16 points. 16 points. I mean, Drake May had 268 in the air. He had a pick. He had a touchdown. He was sacked 5 times, okay? The only thing that the Chargers could not stop yesterday was the run. They had 146 yards on the year, the Patriots, that is. Stevenson, 10 for 53. Trayvon Henderson, 9 for 27. Drake May, 10 for 66. They ran the football effectively. But do not allow this to take anything away from what Jesse Minter has done out there in terms of being the DC. This dude, and apparently the Ravens are about to bring him in now for an interview as well, which I think that job fits him like a glove. I truly believe it. I think that Minter is like meant for that Baltimore job. A guy that can come in, a real true defensive-minded guy, not a hardball that is a special teams guy that knows how to, that needs other coordinators to be high-level defensive-minded guy, offensive-minded guys. Minter's going to come in, and I think if he is the head coach out there, I think he fits. I think he's the true number one candidate out there. He can turn that back into a defensive juggernaut. Baltimore has always been known for having phenomenal defenses. Phenomenal. Since the inception of them going to Baltimore, becoming the Ravens, the Ray Lewises of the world, the Eds, right? They've had some phenomenal defensive pieces. Could you imagine what Minter would do with Kyle Hamilton, with Nate Wiggins, with those young pass rushers, some of those young defensive tackles, the Roquan Smiths of the world, with the Marlon Humphreys of the world? He would work magic. That would probably be a top 5 defensive unit immediately in year one under Jesse Minter. And then that allows, Lamar and company, whoever the OC is out there, to do what they do. But I think that Minter, I think that he was meant for that Baltimore job. I think it would be a crazy, crazy fit for him. Bro, people that want to trade back are the same ones who put rims on their car and then put a picture of their kids on the dash to cover the check engine light. God damn. Bro, holy shit. Bro, man, I grew up with nothing but these kind of people, man. I hate you, bro. Salute to my guy, Ro, man. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you, man, on the $10 special. That's hilarious. Let me see. Yeah, man, Mentor did a lot with a lot of no names, man. Facts. He worked wonders out there. Greg Roman was the one that shit the bed out there for the Chargers. For you to not be able to get the best out of Herbert in the playoffs, for you to not be able to adjust, around that O-line, which I know it's tough because, again, you lost Joe Alt, you lost Slater for the season, but I'm looking at the big fish that they brought in, right? The guard from Philly. Everybody was high on him. Let's bring him in, in free agency. And, he was on a short list of players that I thought would probably be intriguing, for us because of, we had some holes in that O-line going into the year. And then, we end up having one of the worst O-lines in football. A lot of that lies on Brennan Carroll, of course, but for him not to be able to get the most out of some of those players, you have to go. You have to go. I think that Greg Roman is out of there. He's out of there. Definitely. Let me see. Salute to my guy. Salute, Graphk. Who wins tonight, Texans or Steelers? I got the Texans. I have the Texans. I know that it is in Pittsburgh. Technically, it's a home game for them. Steelers won their division. Texans were pretty short of winning their division, right? Well, just came up shy in winning their division. I think that the Texans defense is they're too good. They're too good. They have a great defensive coordinator. They have a great defensive-minded head coach. CJ Stroud and company. Just go out there and just play clean football on the offensive side of the ball. I really, truly believe because of their defense, I just think that the Texans are going to beat them I'll say by 10. Beat them by 10. Again, Aaron Rodgers is old, man. I know they're getting DK Metcalf back. I know they have a nice little duo at the running back position, with Warren and who else is out there? Is it Gainwell, I believe? Nice little duo out there on the ground game. But I don't see Pittsburgh beating them. I think the Texans just are a better football team, and I have them winning by probably 2 scores, honestly, on the road. Let's go. Get a few more questions in, you guys. Again, this is not going to be a long show. I wanted to do about an hour, maybe hour and 15 tops. So get a few questions in. But again, another update for those who are just joining. Salute to my guy Ridgeback in the building as well. We have requested interviews with Nathan Shilhaz. Always, again, bear with me, you guys. The Rams pass game coordinator. He's only 35 years old. He is a McVay disciple. It'd be exciting to see if we can bring him in potentially and be that. I wouldn't be shocked if we brought in Chris Shula and he got the head coaching job and he brought in Nathan as his OC. I can see that connection there because I don't know if Mike Lafleur gets a head coaching job. And if he doesn't, he'll probably go right back as the OC with the Rams under McVay and kind of wait until next year's head coaching cycle again. But keep an eye on Chris Shula. If we bring him in as a head coach, he's a defensive-minded guy. I would not be shocked if Nathan followed him to be the offensive coordinator. And then, we can look at another connection in terms of the defensive coordinator. There's a name out there that was just fired from Atlanta, you guys, as a head coach that has connections to the Rams in McVay and company as well. So that would be a phenomenal offseason, having the number 1 pick, bringing in Chris Shula as a defensive coordinator, and him bringing in a few of his guys out there from his time with the Rams. I think that Nathan would be an interesting guy to come up as the Rams pass game coordinator that learned under McVay for a year or so, come in and potentially be the OC. And then we can bring in, Raheem Morris potentially as the defensive coordinator if he doesn't get a head coaching job elsewhere, which I don't believe he will. So keep an eye on Raheem Morris's potential DC And then keep an eye on Nathan, potentially 35 years old, maybe getting the OC job if Chris Shula becomes the head coach for our Raiders. I think it'd be a really, really good trio right there. Yeah, Riola did go to Oregon, you guys. Again, that does not mean that Dante Moore is declaring. He's coming off of a nasty injury, you guys, and he did say that if Moore decides to stay another year, that he's okay with sitting for a year and being the starter in 2027. So we still have to wait. Still a waiting game to see if Dante Moore would declare. So is it Shieldhouse, Kyle? Is that how you say it? Shieldhouse? Is that the way you say it? Shieldhouse. Okay. I always butcher that name. Salute the Rube. How far is this team from a playoff performance? Defense seems multiple years for sure. Definitely. Way off. But the offense doesn't seem that far off, even though the stats said the opposite this year. Need a stable offensive play caller for Mendoza. Agreed. This is why, Rube, again, Nathan, if we bring him in as the OC, he's young, 35. I think that him and Fernando Mendoza can grow together. Again, coming off that, McVay tree, I'm here for it. But again, Davis Webb is an interesting pairing. I don't know why, but I have this nagging suspicion that if he becomes our OC, if he's not our head coach, we bring him in as an OC, I think he would work wonders with Fernando Mendoza. Being, a quarterback's coach and what he's done up there with Bo Nix in Denver this year, he would be great for Fernando Mendoza. Honestly, I believe that would be a great pairing there. But yes, I think the defense is very much so far off. We need corners galore. If you bring Stokes back, great. We have Porter under contract. We got DeCameron Richardson, but we need more corners. We're probably going to need 2 or 3 safeties. We're going to need a whole new room of linebackers. We got Eichenberg and Lindenberg. That's about it. I know they brought Jamin Davis back as well, but we have to reinvent that whole room at the linebacker position. We need another 1 or 2 edge rushers, right? Kuntz is a free agent. Tonka looked good this year. We have Brennan Jackson coming back off the IR next year, so hopefully he's a big piece. Tyree playing inside and out, but we need a few edge rushers. That defense is very far off. I think they're going to spend a lot of this draft, 10 picks. I think maybe 7 of them goes. They're allocated to the defensive side of the football. Got to get some corners, got to get some linebackers, got to potentially maybe get you another defensive tackle. I don't know what the next coaching staff is going to think of JJ Pegues or Jonah Lalu. I know Adam Butler's still under contract, but you're going to have to get some defensive linemen. You're going to have to, that defense is going to take some time. The offense, I don't think we're that far away. Again, like you said, if you have Mendoza, the O-line is not as bad as you guys think. I'm telling you now, Brendan Carroll was just that bad. But in free agency, you bring in, let's just say a Braden Smith or a Tyler Linderbaum, your O-line is already revamped. And then you have a ton of weapons, Brock and Genty. You need a running back too in the draft, which you can get in those later rounds. But the young wide receiving core, I think you do need to bring in another wide receiver, which I would do in the draft. And I'd bring in, i.e. Elijah Surratt or Omar Cooper or one of those guys. But again, the defense is pretty far off. I agree with you on that, Rube, definitely. But I think the offense is a lot closer than many assume, especially if you bring in Fernando Mendoza and let's say he's ready to go year 1. Shit, we might be cooking with grease on the offensive side of the football. Roman, him be running back too? Okay, we'll see. We'll see, Lewis. I'm going to talk to him at the Shrine Bowl next week. I'm going to get a chance to interview him, and I'm going to pick his brain a little bit about potentially what he would think about pairing with his former quarterback in Indiana. That'd be fun. Salute to Vengeance, my guy, on becoming a member as well. Thank you, my brother. Salute to you. And if you guys want to become a member of Green Dot Gang, like my guy Vengeance, hit the link. It's pinned up top. It definitely will help us keep the lights on over here at OLV Raiders Network, especially in the off season. Rich, I really, truly don't know, man. I know that both of these guys have several interviews lined up. Shula is getting calls now. Honestly, if I'm a betting man, Rich, as much as I like Chris Shula, I do believe that they're going to want to go offensive-minded guy. These last few seasons, what has happened? AP, shit the bed. Pete Carroll, 1 year, shit the bed. I think that you're bringing in Fernando Mendoza, a young offensive, a guy that can be a potential top 10 quarterback in the near future. Hopefully top 5, top 3. I think that they're going to probably value Clint Kubiak over the likes of a Chris Shula, even though he has the connection with McVay. I think that they want to bring an offensive-minded guy in. Honestly, I do believe that they want to go that route. And hey, Jay, that'd be interesting, right? Chris Shula gets the Miami job. That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy. His grandfather, one of the greatest head coaches of all time. That'd be dope. That'd be dope. Yes, Reese. Both, but they're up there in age, and they're kind of the tail end of their careers here. And they're more rotational guys at this point. I mean, and I think that Mario has been playing defensive tackle for the Texans a ton this year. Our former second-round pick, I believe, out of Florida State. But yeah, they're getting up there in age. Let me see. I keep seeing people say A.J. Brown for what? For what, you guys? He's getting a little long on the tooth. The way him and his head coach went at it this year was kind of crazy. Has some drop balls last night that could have won that game for his football team. I don't want nothing to do with A.J. Brown. I'm good. Give me George Pickens over A.J. Brown all day, every day, if Pickens is available, of course. I'd even take Alec Pierce, Mikey, over A.J. Brown. Again, Alec Pierce kind of fits the timeline. I couldn't even imagine. Could you imagine A.J. Brown, watching Brock Bowers getting more reps than him? Get more. He's going to be like, what the hell was going on? You know who I am? No, I'm good, bro. I don't want nothing to do with him. I'm good. Let A.J. Brown go somewewhere else. I think there's a ton of – I don't even know how Philly even gets out of that contract. I think there's like a ton of dead cap, the way his contract is structured. I don't know how they're going to get out of that, but it seems as though they're going to go in another direction here. It's either probably the head coach or him, because they look like they're about to catch a fade on the sideline. So let me see. Dallas is trying to I've heard that. I've heard that they potentially would tag him. And I think that's what, $28-29 million for the season. From what I'm hearing, Jerry already has a plan to bring Pickens back, and that they got money allocated for him, and that they're going to move some things around. I'm in the area, you guys. I've heard that Jerry is all in on bringing George Pickens back, who I believe just got second-team All-Pro. Second-team All-Pro. Salute to him. So he had a major year in Dallas. No, Chris, he is not available. He just signed a new deal, him and Jamar Chase in Cincinnati. They're both under contract for the near future. There's no T. Higgins for us unless Cincinnati tries to go in another direction. If they move Burrow and then they start selling some pieces off, maybe they try to get off that deal. But again, he's not available. Let me see. Yeah, Evans is not going to the Raiders, you guys. He will retire in Tampa Bay. There's no way I see him leaving Tampa Bay for 1 year. I don't see it. So we talked about coaches. Again, you guys, Matt Lafleur is no longer, it looks as though he will no longer be an option for the Raiders. Adam Schefter came out there and tore my heart out my chest, saying that they're working on a new deal with him. So something to monitor until, he signs on a dotted line. We've seen stranger things happen in the NFL, but it looks as though Matt Lafleur is off the table and he will return to Green Bay. Chris Shula, you guys, a guy that I've been talking about all offseason, as one of, if not my favorite candidate this offseason. The Raiders have put in a request to bring him in, so we will talk to him at some point. Also, the Cardinals are interested in bringing him in, the Giants as well, and expect a few more possible suitors to pop out here very, very soon, i.e. Baltimore, Miami, maybe even I don't know. Maybe some other teams come out the woodworks as well. Again, we talked about Mike LaFleur. It looks as though other teams as well, the Cardinals, are interested in interviewing him. And then we talked about Nate, is it Shieldhouse, I believe? The Browns are candidates to bring him in. Also, they're going to interview for their head coaching job. And the Ravens are also going to interview him, as well as our Raiders. So things are going to start heating up here soon. Stay tuned, you guys. I think in the next 2 weeks, we'll kind of have a better idea of where we're going in regards of who's going to be our head coach, our DC, and our OC. And salute to Ryan McFadden. Again, I read this earlier over on Twitter. Interviews completed thus far. Clint Kubiak, Vance Joseph, Matt Nagy, Kevin Stefanski, Davis Webb, and then the ones that we have requested up to this point, Jeff Hafley, Mike Lafleur, Chris Shula, Ajiro Avero, the DC for the Panthers, which is an intriguing name. Again, he was with the Raiders back in, I think, the early 2000s. And I definitely believe that he deserves a look, at least at the minimum, a look, because he's done some really good things out there with the Carolina defense. And then we talked about Nathan as the Rams pass game coordinator. He's going to come in and be interviewed for the head coaching job as well. So other than that, get a few more questions in, you guys, before we get out of here. Tyree, there's nothing up to this point yet. Salute to the 1,400 people here. Get them likes up and hit that subscribe button if you guys are not subscribed yet. There's no real intel on that. No one knows what Spytek and Brady have up their sleeve right now. I'm not hearing anything. From what I'm hearing is nothing from anybody. Any of these insiders, no one has dropped anything in terms of who the Raiders have high on their board right now or high on their list of candidates. There's nothing there yet. And honestly, Tyree, it's just way too early, brother, because a lot of these people that we're bringing in have other interviews lined up with other jobs, or they've already taken other interviews. So there's no real, there's no real idea of where we are in the grand scheme of things. I truly don't know. I can tell you that they're high on Clint Kubiak, and hopefully they go out there and beat the dog shit out of the Niners here in the divisional round at home. I'm hoping and praying that Seattle beats the shit out of them because, the Niners definitely snuck one out of Philly. And real quick, man, George Kittle. Hate to see it. I hate the Niners, but I'm a football fan, and George Kittle was one of the greatest tight ends, in a long time. And to see him go out there and it looked like a ruptured Achilles. I know it was something with his Achilles yesterday. It was funny, not funny, but it was kind of funny that they said that, I think Diana Rossini put a report out there that she's seen somebody running through the back to bring in a bottle of tequila, and that it was for Kittle. Because apparently they asked him, what do you need? What do you want? And he said, get me a bottle of tequila. And apparently they went to the owners of Philly and they had a bottle waiting for him, and so on and so forth. So, nasty situation, but great to see how he handled it. But it was a terrible Achilles injury at his age. I don't know how he's going to come back and how he's going to return. Knowing Kittle, he's a dog. So he doesn't probably want to end his career that way. But being that old is tough, coming back from that kind of injury. Let's get it. Breaking news, you guys. Let's go. Jesse Minter interviewing with the Raiders. Okay, so now we have another name that just snuck into my top 5 here. Another guy that did great things with that national championship Michigan defense, and now is doing great things at the NFL level with Harbaugh. Here we go. Raiders interviewing Jesse Minter. Let's go. I want to see on Twitter real quick where this is. Salute to everybody here in the building. Breaking news, you guys. It looks as though the Raiders are going to interview defensive coordinator Jesse Minter. Let me see. I'm looking. Somebody had to tag me on this. Let me see. I'm not seeing anything. Who put it out there, y'all? Let me see. I'm just going to type his name in on Twitter. Jesse Minter. All right. Latest. Not seeing anything. Where are you guys getting this information from? Schultz? Okay, let me go to Jordan real quick. Again, salute to everybody here in the building. As always, appreciate you guys. All right, let's go to Jordan Schultz. All right. Sources, Chargers defensive coordinator Jesse Minter has received interview requests from the Raiders, Titans, Ravens, which I do believe he's going to end up there. It's going to be funny to watch him replace Harbaugh's brother as he leaves one Harbaugh. Yeah, that's hilarious. And the Browns. He's viewed as one of the top coordinator to head coach candidates in this cycle. Good to see, man. Again, according to Jordan Schultz, you guys, sources, Jesse Minter has received interview requests from Raiders, Titans, Ravens, and Browns. Spytech and Tom Brady doing their homework. You love to see it, man. You love to see it. Dangerfield, Graphk, I don't think I've seen the Raiders do this much diligent work at head coach ever. You know why? Because when is the last time we've had the number 1 draft pick? Since Jamarcus Russell, right? They have to get this one right, Dangerfield. The last thing you want to do is bring in Fernando Mendoza, and he goes through this shit show of a rotating door at the head coaching position, at the head coach spot. You can't do that. You have to get this one right. If you're bringing in a young quarterback that had just a phenomenal Cignetti head coach out there in Indiana, you have to get this thing right. You have to get this thing right. The Raiders don't know when they're going to be, in this position again, drafting at 1. So again, I'm not upset about this. I think that this is phenomenal work from Spytech and Brady and company. I think they're doing everything that they need to do. Leave no stone unturned. You're bringing in a young quarterback that needs to have things right off the bat. We do not want to see this kid in year 3 going on his 3rd, head coach. We can't afford to do this again. We just cannot afford to do this again. So salute to Spy and salute to Brady. Again, breaking news, you guys. Jesse Minter will be in. Apparently we requested an interview. We'll see if we get one. And it looks like the Browns, Ravens, and Titans are all in on the young, bright, defensive-minded coordinator, hopefully turning head coach here on this cycle. So there you have it, man. Other than that, you guys, we'll be live all week long. I'm going to see if I can get a Graphk and Wasted show tomorrow. We're doing the birthday show Thursday, you guys. Man, I'm getting old. We're doing a birthday bash. We're going to talk everything Raiders off season. So hopefully you guys pull up Thursday, and then we're calling the game as well. Indiana, Miami, we're doing the national championship, me and Hammer. So hopefully you guys pull up. A long week of content, you guys. Make sure you pull up. Come kick it with us. Again, we're going to have some fun. I'm going to hit up Stu, see if he'll pull up on the birthday show. Maybe I can get Andy and the Shieldmore guys, and we'll hang out, and we'll make it a thing. But other than that, you guys, the Raiders doing everything they need to do right now in order to right the ship, with the head coaching spot. You love to see it. They're interviewing everybody under the sun right now. It's great to be alive as a Raider fan. Salute to my brother Hug in the building as well. Always good to see my guy in the building. Other than that, man, love, appreciate every single one of you guys. Probably see me tomorrow. So, 1.